right, this is Market Pulse. Right now, we're picking up the pulse of the day with Ambrose Udeaba. He's the head Securities Trading, Planet Capital Limited. It's great to have you join me.
Thank you, Joanna.
All right. Let's begin with Transcorp. We're seeing what happened today with Transcorp Hotel on the NGX. But, speaking to Transcorp Plc, the first half 2024 results point to, strong profitability, great financial health. But we're seeing the moderated share price performance. We're not seeing them react as should be. Would you say that this indicates, concerns about the company's future performance? Or what do you say this signals to?
Okay, thank you. For me, I think there's no concern about the future performance of the company. The reason is the performance are okay. They are proving that this over time. They have a strong management team. They are also well diversified, in the sector and then subsector where they play. So for me, it is not a cause for concern, but the moderation in price is also an opportunity for new investors, to come in. I will also admit the fact that looking at the current market price now is a well overpriced as against the book value. But if you look at the earnings per share also, you will see, the performance indicating or showing there. And then looking at the 52 weeks high and low of the price, having done about 20 naira plus this year, and then from around this time last year, 4 naira thereabouts. So the price we close today is around 11.50 kobo. So it's also a good time for people to, take advantage vis-a-vis the movement in price, the liquidity or how liquid the stock is, and then the performance.
So, it's a good point of entry. And from what you're saying, the stock is somewhat undervalued, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's come to activities on the NGX today. We saw Boa Foods. It took a hit. Not a marginal hit, a marginal decline on the NGX today. Boa Foods specifically. We know that they submitted quite impressive earning results, especially considering the performance of its peers in the FMCG space. And they've also made some expansion announcements of late, but we're not seeing reactions in the markets as well. Instead, we're seeing some level of sell pressures. What are your thoughts on what's going on with Boa Foods on the NGX?
Okay, so for me, generally, if you follow the trend in the market, you also find out that for some time now, the market has not really been doing well. Okay, but for stocks that are fundamentally sound, like that of Boa Foods, and then the new news that also positioning the company for expansion, I think is also a good investment for people that also want to invest and want to enter and then are ready to stay long time, pending when this expansion will begin to bring back the anticipated results. So for Boa Foods, I think it's a good investment. Any investor that is looking for a fundamentally sound stocks should go into.
All right, so another great stock that you can get into right now, obviously from what you're saying. But let's move on now to International Breweries PLC. Yesterday, they had their rights issues listed on the NGX. And this is, of course, amid some sort of paltry earning results. We know the earning results were not looking so good. But yes, listed on NGX, 161 billion ordinary shares of 2 kobo each at 3 naira 65 per share. What are your thoughts on this move? And do you see an opportunity here for AB InBev to strengthen their hold on International Breweries? And what are the prospects for existing shareholders with this move?
Yes, looking at the International Breweries, if you look at the numbers also, you will also find out that for the period in the past, and even for the half-year reports, the financials have not really been good. The profits has not really been good. But if you also look further, study the financials very well, you will also discover, for instance, for that of the half year this year, the major impact actually came from the realized FX losses, which is around 106 billion naira, okay? And then if you also go further, you look at the finance cost, which is also, for me, is high, around 30 billion. So if you take that away, you also find out that, there are some little gains for the company. The right issue for me is also a good thing. One of the things they use in selling this right to us was the fact that once this right is done, they will be able to use it to pay off some of the foreign debt loans they are carrying, which also will reduce, or net off the finance cost. So for me, International Breweries, is it a good investment for one to enter now? I would say yes. Looking at the price for the right is around 365 kobo, which is also the lowest price the stock has done for the past 1 year. So the 52 weeks low is around 360 kobo, and then the 52 weeks high is around 686 kobo. So for investors that really want to, wait for long, okay, I think is a good stock. This right issue being listed will also make the stock to also be liquid, okay, as against before now, where you don't really have that liquidity. But this volume of the right being listed will also make the stock to be liquid.
So all in all, it's a positive move, right? They're converting their debt to equities.
It's a positive move. And finally, we also know that they have one of the largest, plants here in Nigeria. Okay, so I think generally the economy, but as the economy rebound, as the economy recover, as they're able to use the proceeds of the rights to offset some of this loan, we believe that the company will turn out good for the investors to begin to get value for their investments.
We're looking forward to that economic rebound. Indeed, it's been a long time coming. But before I let you go, Mr. Ambrose, let's come to the currency markets. Analysts are already implying that despite a potentially weaker dollar, even though we've seen it strengthen lately, but we know what's ahead, fundamentals are suggesting that the naira will still move towards the 1,800 to the dollar. Specifically, we had IMF. They are projecting that, the naira will depreciate by 35% this year, a final value of 2,081 naira to the dollar. So, what are your thoughts on this? All factors considered and, the fundamentals as well being considered. Do you agree?
For me, I do not totally agree. The reason is simple. We also know that from the time the unification started last year, we saw, the naira, depreciating to as low as 1,900 to a dollar. But we also saw that, CBN has, come up with a lot of policies and then interventions, which is also paying off. One of those interventions is also making dollars available to the Peru to change. And another one, the most recent ones, I think from the Minister of the Economy, if the NNPCL, for instance, starts supplying crude, okay, to the refineries, if it starts supplying crude to the likes of local refineries and then Dangote refineries, that will ease off the weight on the FX,
yes,
and that will also cost again. And then the local dollar bond that is open now also, which the government also plan to raise, a substantial amount, I think in the tune of around $500 million. So if these interventions begin to work, we also remember that recently, just last month, inflation also, is also declining. So
all right, Mr. Ambrose.
I don't believe it's going to get to that level, but I also see that these policies will work. And then we'll begin to see, the naira rebound again. All
right. So, analysts may have to, review their projections for, the naira to the dollar ahead. But thank you so much for joining me, Ambrose Udeaba, head Securities Trading Planet Capital Limited. It's a pleasure having you join me.